Has gotten involved in a dispute on board a ship anchored in Halifax Harbor. 9 Ukrainian crewmen of the MSC Manzanilla complained that the shipping company was ignoring the terms of their contract and not letting them go home. Preston Mulligan reports.
This ship was originally scheduled to leave Halifax yesterday. The 9 crew in question have been on board since November and were supposed to be flown home in April.
Originally, they signed up for 6 months, and then they did an extension to that agreement, and then they've been asked to do another extension, which they have refused.
The 9 Ukrainians complained to their international union about the delay. That's when Transport Canada got involved yesterday and detained the ship, refusing to let it leave Halifax Harbor.
With the MSC, they seem to be having problems with getting seafarers to replace the workers on board, and that's not the seafarers' fault, but it does affect their ability to send those guys home.
Risser says it's becoming more common as shipping companies struggle to find workers and keep shipments on schedule. The urgency with this ship, though, is exceptional.
You know, there's a war in the Ukraine right now, and these guys have been on board since November, so they've never been home since. And they want to go home, you know, contact their families and make sure everybody's safe. Some want to go to war. Some, these guys are real heroes keeping our supply chain going, and we have to respect their rights as seafarers to be repatriated home at the end of their contract.
Canada is a signatory to something called the Maritime Labour Convention, and part of that convention is something called a Seafarer's Bill of Rights. One of the basic rights is the ability of a seafarer to go home when the contract with a shipping company expires. Now, the United States is not a signatory to that convention, and that could be a problem. The ship is headed to New York City next, and that could mean even more delays for this Ukrainian crew.
So we're not sure if the seafarers' rights will be upheld in the United States, and there could be issues with visas for these guys that aren't an issue here in Canada. So preferably the guys that choose to get off here in Canada should be able to go home.
The local pilot authority in Halifax says the ship is scheduled to depart Halifax at this hour. Transport Canada, though, has yet to confirm whether the dispute has been resolved. Preston Mulligan, CBC News, Halifax.